can see an image. What do you see? You can use the chat box or unmute and tell me. You can use the chat box. Triangle, thank you very much. Fruit and triangle. So what is the fruit? So everybody is able to see a triangle for sure. Kiwi. When you see kiwi slices there, can you think about kiwi? Remember the taste of kiwi? I can already remember. I am already remember. Yes. So tissue paper, okay? Yeah, tissue paper. Okay. So you can recollect the taste of kiwi. You can also recollect the feeling you have while you eat kiwi, right? This is because when you had kiwi for the first time, your mind understood, processed the information, how the kiwi tastes and how it feels, how it looks, and it has stored it in our unconscious mind for future reference. Next time you see kiwi, you don't have to think about it because our conscious mind is very small, so it cannot process everything. So automatically it will go and search for information. Now you can see triangle. The question is a triangle really there? Is the triangle really there in the picture? No. Thank you very much. So no. Then why do we still see a triangle? That is because our conscious mind, as soon as it sees this image, it goes in the unconscious automatically to check if there is any information from the past. And based on that past information, it will retrieve the information for today's reference. Fear. There are many fears we have accumulated over a period of time. We are born with only two natural fears: fear of loud noises and fear of falling. Rest of the fears are acquired. Fear for lizard, fear for snake. Most of us have never encountered a snake, but we still fear them, right? The research says that people die not because of the venom injected by the snake during the snake bite, but more because of the shock and belief that now snake bite is going to kill me. So we are still able to see that triangle because our conscious mind has automatically gone. There is no way we can control this process. That means our past experiences which we have stored in our unconscious mind are going to rule us even today. Now I'm 50 years old. So in this 50 years, the information which I have accumulated and stored in my unconscious mind is going to rule me. Remember, we think 80% times more negative. Out of 5, 4 times we are thinking negative. We are born to think negative, or we are trained to think negative because of our ancestors' instinct, survival instincts. Then our ability to self-reflect is going to further create limiting beliefs. And then we have our environment. Our parents have been overprotective, and then in the environment, in today's world, we have movies, we have social media, we have social media, we have advertisements. Further, the emotional support structure of our society, social system is disintegrating, values are deteriorating, and all this put together is further increasing negativity on us. It's like my favorite example. If you go on Google and search for 10 benefits of eating egg every day or 10 benefits of having milk every day, you will find many sites which will give you benefits of having egg or milk every day. If you search for harmful effects of having egg every day or milk every day, you will find many such sites which will tell you why you should not have milk or why you should not have egg every day. It's like another example, very interesting. If I go and search on Google, 10 tell us the 10 good things our prime minister has done. So you will get 10 good things. 10 bad decisions by our prime minister, it will give you 10 bad things. You go and search 5 good things no Nehru did, so you will find 5, even more than 5. If you go and search for 5 bad decisions Nehru has taken, that will also come. So it depends on. So nature is like this, like Google. What you search, you're going to get. That is law of attraction. What you search from your environment, that is what you're going to get. If you are going to search negativity from your environment, you will get plenty of it in multiples. It will multiply and continue. If you think about positive things, you will start getting positive. The interesting part of this is that you know neuroplasticity, right? Can somebody share what is neuroplasticity? You can unmute or use the chat box. What do you think is neuroplasticity?
Sir, our brain has got neurons. The communications passes from one neuron to another neuron.
Right.
So in the neuroplasticity means brain can means ability to if there are any changes or if there are anything can happen, it can sustain those changes.
Great, thank you very much. So neuroplasticity is the ability of a brain to adapt itself, right? To change itself based on the requirement, based on how you practice it, how you use it. Okay. So I will give you another example. A boy is good in maths because he likes the maths teacher and doesn't pay attention on English because he's not very kind of attached to the English teacher. However, suppose the maths teacher goes away, new teacher comes, and now the child is not able to connect much with the maths teacher. But the new English teacher, so English teacher has also changed, but he is gelling well with the English teacher. So now he's started focusing on his English. So his brain now, when he was doing maths well, the part of the brain which was which controlled the logic or numbers has has developed more. However, when he switches over to linguistic now language, the part of that brain which controls language will now be more developed, and the part which was using maths logic will now diminish a little. So this is what is neuroplasticity, our ability of our brain to adapt to new things. So if you continue to think, if you have been thinking negative so far, if you start thinking positive, as you start thinking positive over a period of time, your brain will start seeing positive in everything. So it has the ability to switch from negative to positive if you start putting effort. See, remember, unconscious mind, we were talking about conscious and unconscious. Unconscious mind is a storage device. It stores information. It doesn't argue, evaluate, or reject any idea. So if you tell your unconscious mind, if you are watching a movie and you are watching Aishwarya Rai and you say she is not really good looking, she is not really great, right? She is right. And if you are looking at Katrina Kaif and you say, yeah, she is really great. Okay. Our unconscious mind is not going to evaluate the idea. Our unconscious mind is not going to tell you that, okay, Aishwarya Rai was Miss World and now she is just Miss India. So Aishwarya Rai should be looking better. No. So whatever information you put it in your unconscious, it will store it. The only thing is, once the information goes in our unconscious, then you cannot change it. So whenever you're going to see Aishwarya Rai, you're not going to really like her. But when you're going to see Katrina Kaif, you're going to like. Any idea goes in our unconscious mind, it will start executing. Now, very interesting question. So it is not going to evaluate. 96% of whatever we do every day is controlled by our unconscious mind. Automatic responses, automatic movements, habits, thinking pattern. Now, if you want to be successful in life, if you want to achieve something in your life, if you want to lead a life which you always wanted, what is more important, logical thinking or imagination? So Dr. Jagdish says imagination. So you can write I for imagination, L for logical thinking if you want to write on the chat box, or you can unmute also and tell me. What do you think? Now, when I talk about extraordinary success, remember, success and extraordinary success. Extraordinary success is like something which you even won't have guts to dream. Extraordinary success is something which you will not even dream about. Right. So what is more important, imagination or logical? So Dr. Jagdish says imagination. What do you think? So you can unmute or you can use the chat box. For extraordinary success, what do you think is more important? I'm saying more important. Imagination or logical?
Imagination only. So first you imagine, then only you can think logically.
So Dipali says I, imagination, nobody for logic.
First imagination and
logically imagining. So
how to reach that imagination.
This is interesting. So this is interesting. How do you imagine logically? That's where the problem is. You should not imagine logically.
Imagination is not logical. You first imagine and then logically you try to reach that point. What are the plans, how to do all those things.
Right. For example, my example is you go and fill your car with petrol at a specific petrol pump, and there is a petrol pump attendant, a young guy, smart one, and you wonder how this guy has landed up here filling petrols. Okay, so because you go every day, probably there you take 5 rupees or 10 rupees, probably if you can afford. One day you ask him, so what do you do apart from this? He says, okay, I study. So what do you want to become? So you ask that question automatically. He says, I want someday to kind of own a refinery where I want to manufacture this petrol. You smile and you drive away. What would you think about this guy and the statement he made? This petrol pump attendant, what do you think? So he's filling petrol there in the car and studying.
We say that he's daydreaming.
He's daydreaming.
That's what we say normally.
Yeah, so he's daydreaming. What could be other things? So he's out of his mind. What is he? What is it? Is there something wrong with him? It is only his wish. Right? It is only his wish. So you cannot imagine logically, right? So if you start imagining, it is not possible to logically imagine, right? Because as soon as you start applying logic to imagination, what happens? What happens if you start applying logic to imagination? What will happen? You will start coming out with the points which will tell you why your imagination is not going to become a reality. Disbelief. Thank you very much. Manipulating the imagination. Okay. So when we talk about imagination and logical thinking, like you rightly said, it starts with imagination and logical thinking. So when you are imagining, when you are thinking about, thinking about and imagining about what you want in your life, don't put any restrictions on it. Don't use any logic. Allow your mind to go and see or dream, which may be even out of the world. Right? Most of the time, most of the things we want are very much there in this world. Somebody wants a car. Hundreds of cars are there. Somebody may want Mercedes. So again, there are plenty in the world. Somebody may want big house. So that is also there. There are many people who are living in big houses, right? Ambani has 13th floor building. If somebody says, I want to marry a beautiful girl, so there is no dearth of beautiful girls. There are plenty in this world. So whatever you want, somebody says, I want huge bank balance. So again, it is not something which has not been achieved. There are many people in this world who has a really, really fat bank balance, right? They have such a huge bank balance that you can't manage it in India, so they have to go and open it in Switzerland. So whatever you wish for is not something which has not been achieved by anybody in this world. It is already there. So it is not that nobody can achieve it. People have done it. You will also do it. Imagination, while you imagine, no logic. After you have decided that this is my dream and I need to go and fulfill this, then you start logical thinking. How to go there? So when you are successful, it is about imagination and logical thinking working together. But it starts with imagination. If you start, most of the time we believe that imagination is something like मैं कुछ भी सोच सकता हूँ. लेकिन I will guarantee you, most of the people cannot think kuch bhi. So I was doing a training program, so for managers, and I was talking about this power of imagination. So one manager got up and he said, so ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? How is it possible? तुम कुछ भी सोचोगे वो हो जाएगा क्या? तो बोला हाँ. मैं बोला सोचो. तो बोला क्या सोचो? तो बोला सोचो कि आपको कितना पैसा चाहिए. बोला 5 करोड़. मैं बोला 10 करोड़ क्यों नहीं? Then he started thinking, 20 करोड़ क्यों नहीं? अच्छा 5 करोड़. Tell me what are you going to do with this 5 crore? If you get 5 crores tomorrow, what are you going to do? So he was lost because he never thought about earning 5 crore. So he didn't know what to do with this 5 crore. If he could think about getting that 5 crore and using it, right, what would have happened? If you thought कि मैं ये 5 करोड़ का करूंगा क्या? ये मुझे क्यों चाहिए? Right, because that 5 crore in the bank balance doesn't represent only money, it represents a lifestyle. मेरे पास कभी ऐसी गाड़ी होगी, ऐसा बंगला होगा, ऐसा जॉब होगा, ऐसा बिजनेस होगा, या मैं सोसाइटी के लिए ये करूंगा, या कम्युनिटी के लिए ये करूंगा, या ऐसा होगा या वैसा होगा. So it is not only about 5 crore in the bank balance, it represents the entire lifestyle. So when you start thinking about what you're going to do, what happens? When you start thinking about what you're going to do with that money, what kind of lifestyle you're going to live, what happens? Any guesses? You can use the chat box or you can unmute and tell. When I think about the life which I want to live every day in my mind, what happens? Am I audible? Doubts come, okay. Happiness. Molina says, yeah, thank you. Mungeri Lal ki Hasin Sapne, okay. Working towards it, yeah. Working towards it, okay. So the interesting thing is, when you start thinking about the kind of life you want to live without any doubts, right, without trying to analyze it logically, what will happen? Sooner or later, it goes in your unconscious mind. And because 96% of whatever we do is controlled by our unconscious mind, each and every part of our body would start working towards achieving what we want. So day and night, we are thinking about how to reach there, how to make my dream a reality, and it creates an harmony. So you are right there. Dr. Stephen Covey says mental creation precedes physical creation. So not very different. So using power of imagination to uh, bring positivity in our lives. So when we imagine, there are two possibilities. I can bring negativity also, and I can bring positivity also. How can I bring negativity? By imagination. Any thoughts? You can use the chat box or you can unmute and tell me. Failures, giving up, right? So when we talk about power of imagination in negativity, I start thinking about ये क्यों नहीं होगा? So why this cannot happen? Negativity, giving up, failures. I can use positivity also. Whether I look at positive side or the negative side is my choice. So because if I start looking at positivity or negativity is my choice, then whether I am going to use my imagination towards negativity or positivity is again my choice. So I can, if I lose a leg in an unfortunate accident, I would look as a negative thing, and I would imagine myself kind of dependent, useless, and dependent on his family and so on. And the more I think about it, the more negative thoughts come to my mind, which is natural, the more I get depressed. Positive side. If I start looking at the positive side, thank God I'm still alive. I see my wife smiling. I'm still with my children. I can still do something for them. I can educate them, grow them, give them better lives. That is also in my control. So my imagination can take me towards negativity and positivity. As I said, that our conscious mind is automatically dependent on the information stored in our unconscious mind. It will only process those facts, those information which it receives from the senses, which has no information inside it. कुछ नया अगर जो conscious mind देखेगा उसी को वो process करेगा. बाकी का most of the things it will go in the unconscious and retrieve the information and work on it. So most of the time we are actually on the auto mode. We feel that most of the time we are thinking, but we are not thinking. Most of the time we are on automatic mode. And remember, our unconscious mind can do multitasking. So there are a lot of tasks happening right now, but conscious mind is doing only one. Right. So now the question is, as a child, those limiting beliefs, those fears, those negative emotions which I have acquired consciously and stored in my unconscious are still ruling my life. If I have to change results in my life, I have to change the way I think, thought process, belief. So I have to remove this negativity. I have to make changes at subconscious level. How can I do that? Consciously, I cannot go and wipe. I cannot give orders to my unconscious mind. Close my eyes and some negativity, wipe it out immediately. Can't do that. Remember, this negative information, negative thinking is actually to support us, is helps us in our survival. It is important for our survival. The information which is there in our unconscious mind is ruling us is because it is protecting you. How do you fill it with positivity? For example, a girl, she gets into a affair, and then the guy is not so great, and then she breaks up, and she feels really bad and sad about it, as usual, right? Normal. This information will prevent her from getting into next relationship. Why? Because the information will tell that girl, okay, it's not great to be in relationship because the hurt which it will create after breakup, which would be something which is very difficult to handle. You experienced this before. So the unconscious mind, the information in the unconscious mind will hold that girl from getting into a relationship again. You trusted a friend, you gave that friend a loan, you trusted a friend, you signed on the guarantee paper of the bank, the guy took the loan, and now he has disappeared. The banks are after you. So this has taught you that, okay, even if you, for the best friend, don't sign the guarantee papers for the bank, even the best friend comes to you and you know him really well, you will still tell him, I am sorry, I cannot sign any document for you. Tomorrow, for any reason, even if you have good intention, you are unable to pay, what will happen to me? This bank guys will come after me and I cannot run away. I have not done anything to run. So this information, this past information is actually helping us survive this negative information. However, this negative information is also holding us back. So how do I change that? So you bypass the conscious mind, connect with the unconscious, make changes and come back. Now, how do I bypass the conscious mind? So NLP and hypnosis are the techniques or the methods with which we can bypass our our unconscious mind. Now remember that our unconscious mind, we cannot give orders. It accepts only suggestion. So I can only suggest. Now what are these suggestions? So what you can communicate with your unconscious, pass the information. When you think about your life, you always want to lead. Like somebody said, Mungeri Lal ke Haseen Sapne. So that is not exactly Mungeri Lal ke Haseen Sapne. This Haseen Sapne can become a reality for you if you start thinking about it again and again, and see yourself living that life in reality. We will see how it can be done, right? So we spoke about law of attraction. We understood what is unconscious mind. We understood imagination, and we understood NLP and hypnosis. So NLP and hypnosis are basically techniques by means of which we can bypass the conscious mind, connect with the unconscious, make changes. How is NLP and hypnosis different? So hypnosis we use basically to take the person in the deeper relaxation state. So the deeper the person goes, the more the conscious mind stops interfering, right? So the more it is silent, the deeper the person goes in relaxation, and easier to use NLP techniques and then bring about the changes at unconscious level. So you can say that initial relaxation part we use hypnosis and then we get into NLP techniques. Now, what are the benefits of law of attraction? It motivates us, makes us feel positive, energetic, and active. It helps us keep us focused on our goals instead of getting into our disempowering beliefs. We start looking at our goals and we start looking at how to correct them, correct our path, improve our knowledge, skills, and reach them. It also helps law of attraction when you use it. Your subconscious mind absorbs the positivity, and you can use the subconscious mind powers to achieve. We can change our beliefs at subconscious level, which in turn can change our thinking, behavior, actions, and results. For that, what all things can you do? First thing is practice gratitude. Very powerful habit. Every day before you go to sleep, in a diary, just write 5 things which you should be thankful to God or nature or whatever about. Keep on adding points every day to it, at least 5 every day. You can start with I am alive, I am breathing, I have a family, I have a wife, I have kids, then I have home. At minimum 5 every day you write, and you will see that your list is growing every day, right? This habit, before you go to sleep, especially if you do this, you will get up next day with lot of positivity. and lot of energy and punch. Focus on positive. So we understood that positive and negative are two sides of the same coin. Like Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, you can control your karma, you can control your actions, you can never control the consequences of your action. You may do something good to somebody, but you may still get something bad back. You are a vegetarian doesn't mean that when you get lost in the jungle, the lion will not eat you. You are a vegetarian doesn't mean lion is not a vegetarian. That doesn't mean that lion is a vegetarian. Okay. So instead of focusing on instead of focusing on negative, focus on what is positive in this situation. When you help others, okay, so be happy for others. Here, what it means is, most of the time when we see post on social media somebody enjoying in Canada, we feel kind of jealousy or we feel negativity. Yaar, wo ja raha hai, hum kyun nahi ja rahe? You should be happy for others. Great, he has gone to Canada and he's enjoying. He must be having a wonderful time. Think about someday I will also go there. He has also gone, I will also go there. So what's so great about it? So be happy for others. This being happy for others is a really great attitude, because that also helps us beat anxiety, depression and negativity. Practice manifestation. So we are going to do that in just 5 minutes, where we start living our dreams every day without asking any questions, without asking any logic. Measure yourself, again, your set goals. So don't look at what is the other person's bank balance, what promotion, what increment, what kind of life he's leading. Think about your goal, what you wanted to achieve, what you have targeted, and compare yourself where you are today based on your parameters, your goals, not by others. Right? Appreciate yourself every day. At least 4-5 minutes stand in front of your mirror and say good things to yourself. Say good things to yourself. What good things you did, and pat yourself, appreciate yourself for that. You can even gift yourself something. Be good to others. When you do good things to others, automatically there is a positivity you experience, because when somebody receives help from you, and that is especially when it is without any conditions and without any unexpected, right? You cannot really imagine the kind of happiness the other person feels, and that makes you feel really happy. Practice meditation every day. So I have a session also on how to practice meditation. I take you through guided meditation in that, balancing chakras and goodness meditation. So you can practice this meditation every day. Try to practice it every day if possible, or at least 2-3 days a week, so that positivity develops in you, positive energy develops in you. That recording is there on YouTube. I'm also planning to start these sessions every week, so you can join them as well and experience positivity. And the most important thing is, okay, you have planned for the future, you will learn from the past. Now focus on today. It should not happen that your past is disturbing you again and again, or your future is kind of destabilizing your present, right? Or creating anxiety in the present, right? So we have to learn to live in the present. So there is mindful meditation also that you can practice, right? So law of attraction can be used to remove negativity from us and also to achieve things which we want in our lives. So what LNP process can do, they can bring improve our self-awareness, so bring change in our perceptions and beliefs, make our attitude positive, help us deal with stress, improve our health. People think about going on gym, but they are not able to practice it regularly because they go back to sleep. At the subconscious level, somewhere the programming is not right for exercise. Remove painful memories, psychosomatic diseases. People experience pain in their body. They go to the doctor. The doctor says everything is fine, but the person still continues to feel pain. So those painful areas can be removed. Sleep disorders, I have treated many with these sleep disorders. People are unable to sleep, and with the help of NLP and hypnosis, you can take care of that. Deal with fears, limiting beliefs, help people achieve success by understanding what is their purpose in their lives, setting up their goals in the logical fashion, helping them find solutions using NLP, finding opportunities, right? Communicating with self, communicating with others, and communicating with the nature. That is law of attraction that we can improve upon using NLP and hypnosis. Success, that is attract health, wealth, money, happiness, fame. So when we talk about bypassing the conscious mind, connecting with unconscious, it is a very natural process like we sleep, right? And we can actually achieve anything we want in our lives. You know what is the most common fear humans have? Most common fear humans have? Number one fear. I will just open the chat box right now. Yeah, mindful meditation. See, what happens is when we talk about meditation, because you are doing meditation on your own, you cannot go beyond a certain level. But when somebody guides you, you can really go deeper in the subconscious. Failure, thank you very much. What is the most common fear? Not the failure. Fear of death is the most common fear humans have. What is the second most common fear humans have? That is public speaking. So imagine how fearful this public speaking is for most of us. You can deal with such fears using NLP and hypnosis. Improve your leadership style so that you can lead people effectively. Improve your relationship. Think about your spouse. Close your eyes and think about your spouse. If you see your spouse smiling, looking at you lovingly, full of care, that relationship is going to work great. If you close your eyes and think about your spouse as an angry, shouting, unhappy guy or a woman, then your relationship is not going to work. So what is the information stored at deeper unconscious level? You can change that. Okay. Yeah, you can deal with anxiety and depression. So for success, you need both conscious and unconscious mind. The support of conscious and unconscious mind to be successful.